My next guest is the author and film producer Robert Bryce, who recently wrote a piece for The Australian arguing that despite having the resources to be an energy superpower, Australia's climate policies have seen us acting like an energy weakling. He's also the author of the book A Question of Power, Electricity and the Wealth of Nations. I'm pleased to say Robert Bryce joins me now from Austin, Texas. Robert, welcome. I'm looking forward to seeing you down under very shortly, but you have been following us here and our energy transition very carefully. Give us your report card.
Well, Peta, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not a very flattering report card, and I don't see an energy transition. I'm truly baffled, and I've followed energy markets for a long time. My first book was on Enron now, almost 23 years ago. And I look at Australia and I'm just completely baffled. Australia, as I wrote in that piece, and the Australian is an energy superpower, but you act like an energy weakling. I did the quick calculation. So you're an enormous coal producer and exporter. You export 7 times more coal than you use domestically. You sell it to Japan, South Korea, India, China, but you won't burn it, and you're shutting down your coal plants. You have more uranium than any other country on the world. Nearly a third of all the uranium on the planet is in Australia, but you won't build nuclear reactors. Natural gas, you're the world's 3rd largest LNG exporter, and yet you're short gas. You don't have enough pipelines in your own country. I mean, it's just incredible to me. I mean, you export all these energy resources, and yet you're afraid of using them at home. It's like France banning the domestic use of wine and yet exporting Bordeaux by the tanker load. It truly is baffling.
Yeah, you're going to have absolutely no pushback from me or my audience. We can't understand it. Like, in natural resources terms, we've been shot in the backside with a rainbow, right? You couldn't get a luckier country than Australia, and it is what has made us.
Sorry, shot in the backside with a rainbow?
It's true, shot in the backside by a rainbow. My father would say that. And we have, as a first world economy, high wage jobs. We live in one of the most competitive low wage regions. But how we've been strong up until now, particularly in a manufacturing sense, and attracted business to invest in Australia with a small population, we absolutely need foreign investment to develop and grow, is because we could always offer cheap and reliable power. Now, we're junking that to go down to the manana of wind and solar. We're junking all of that, but we still want to pay Australians a lot. We want a very high standard of living. That doesn't compute, right? That does not compute. But somehow we think in our government here, given we are less than 1% of the problem, as everybody else is getting out of net zero, or they're getting into nuclear, we have no nuclear and we're going to fix the problem all here by ourselves. I mean, it's nuts. But Australians keep voting for it. It doesn't make sense.
It's totally bonkers, Peta. It truly is total bonkers, crazy town. I did the calculations as well. And again, I'm coming to Australia as an outsider, and I've been invited by the IPA, and I'm flattered to be invited and look forward to talking to ordinary Australians about what's happening. But since 2008, when you increase the RET, you call it the renewable energy target, the prices in the national energy market have gone from $48 per megawatt hour to $128 per megawatt hour. And then just on May 26th, it was the same day my piece appeared in the Australian, you had the Australian energy regulator announced that retail prices in New South Wales will increase by as much as 10%, and in Southeast Queensland, nearly 4%. This is all regressive, Peta. It all hurts the poor and the middle class. And those are the people that I love. I love the people who have their names on their shirts, who work with their hands, that, turn wrenches. And yet all of this climate policy, it's elitist policy, and it hurts the working class and the poor.
So if you were to tell my viewers who are trying to make the argument at their golf club and around the kitchen table to younger Australians, why do we need to get out of net zero, Dad or Grandpa? Or here it is, here's why we need to get out. What are the key messages you want Australians to get out there and prosecute at a local level?
Well, sure. First, the idea of net zero. I mean, it's impossible, for all of this genuflecting and bowing and scraping at this idea of net zero emissions. And I know you have the new Albanese government and the first time you've reelected a prime minister in a long time. a ruling coalition in a long time, but it's never going to work. It's a mirage. This idea that you're going to achieve net zero will not happen. It can't happen because it won't happen because it can't happen. So what's the message? You have to sober up and be realistic about what is happening in the world. You mentioned Australia. Australia's percentage of CO2 emissions globally was about a 1.5% in 2000. Now it's about 1%. Meanwhile, China and India are 40%, and their share is rising. So this is an international issue that has to be dealt with internationally. And Australia is hollowing out its economy and its people by inflicting these destructive policies that are going to have effectively no impact on climate change, but devastate potentially the Australian economy and Australian consumers.
I hope you got your visa already, because I tell you what, the Albanese government's not going to like you coming here and speaking some plain, honest truth to them. But I know my audience will. I know people who love the IPA will. So, Robert Bryce, we look forward to your company. Thank you. We'll see you soon. He's going to, of course, be here with the IPA later this month. You can scan the QR code on your screen. He is a rock star. If you can get to one of these engagements, I urge you to do that. I certainly will.